this is Cash Course, and I'm Cassandra Vargas.
And I'm Natalia Waka. And today we're going to be talking about imperialism.
In
South America. Okay, so the U.S., the land of the free and the home of the brave, they're always interfering and getting into everyone else's business because, that's just what we do. So basically, European powers are trying to imperialize South America, even though the Monroe Doctrine prohibited this.
So what does the U.S. do?
The U.S. imperializes South America for themselves.
In this story, the United States is kind of that annoying kid who thinks everything is his on the playground, but he's bigger than all the other kids, so no one can really do anything about the situation.
The Panama Canal was a canal that was created for ships to go through North America and South America, and this connected the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. Why did America want to do this? Well, because Americans are fat and lazy slobs, like the movie WALL-E, and that's why. That's why, because we're lazy. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so what they did is down here is South America, and up here is North America, and this is an isthmus, is that what it's called, and it's a small piece of land that connected these two. So what they did is they took their fingers like this, and they carved out a little canal, and then they drew on with the whiteboard a little canal that was approximately 50 miles long, so ships couldn't go through the two. It was actually 48, but 50 is a nicer number.
Oh, and keep in mind that this took place during the Roosevelt term. So Roosevelt's main goal during his presidency was to raise the United States to a first-rate world power, or to be the big fat kid on the playground. Striving for power, Roosevelt created the Monroe Doctrine to lessen European influence on his playground. The Monroe Doctrine was a foreign policy regarding domination of the continents in 1823. It stated that further efforts by European nations to colonize lands or interfere with states in North or South America would be viewed as acts of aggression requiring the U.S. intervention.
Roosevelt also made it seem like he was going to help these countries by taking responsibility of policing these regions. And that he was also striving to help them become more successful instead of letting other powers like European powers take advantage of them.
In a nutshell, the Western Hemisphere was off limits. And so now the U.S. begins the construction of the Panama Canal in 1907 with three main reasons behind it. First, to increase the speed of shipping and commerce across the Americas, to import and export goods more efficiently.
2, to increase security. So, again, this provided a faster route from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. An example of this is in the Spanish-American War. It took the Oregon, which is a ship they used during the Spanish-American War. It took it 2 months to go from California around South America. So, obviously, by going through, this would make that journey much quicker. Anyways, that's another boring history lesson that you'll probably have to learn for no reason. I love school.
3, an increasing financial profit. Because the U.S. would charge tolls to foreigners in order to use the canal, once again, we have the big fat kid on the playground.
Okay, class, so this is the Pacific Ocean, this is the Atlantic Ocean. Does everyone understand that Americans are fat and lazy, and they cut through land to go through, and...
Does anyone have any questions? Jimmy Choo?
What's your question?
So since the United States is getting benefits from the construction of the Panama Canal, isn't that imperialism?
Well, Jimmy, if you let me finish this script, we'd both know more.
So all these reasons are beneficial towards the U.S. and are a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force, which is the definition of imperialism.
What?
Well, you guessed it. You was right.
So the U.S. was granted a 99-year lease across a 6-mile square area of Panama along with access to the canal. Not only was the U.S. swindling its countries for their benefits, Roosevelt also said that they were simply policing the region to begin with, which that's obviously not what happened since they imperialized the region for themselves. They also treated Latin Americans as inferior people, meaning that they treated them as less than them, and they didn't truly treat them like human beings as they were. So, ironically, Roosevelt got enraged that they declined his $10 million loan, and he called them highwaymen, which is a term used to describe people who hold other people at gunpoint, and they say, "Give me all your money," and that's what happened. So, and then President Roosevelt, in response, showed up to Panama with 9 ships to threaten them, and Panama, faced with American threat, backed down, and they made a treaty was signed, and they surrendered in 1901, and then from there on, the bridge was created.
So once again, we have the big fat kid on the playground, and this new agreement recognized that the Canal Zone as American territory until it was later given back to Panama in 1999. Imperialism doesn't just occur in Africa. It is not just a thing of the past. Imperialism takes place all over the globe and is occurring right now with similar circumstances like the Panama Canal. It is just something to be thinking about.
Well, until my history teacher makes me create another one of these projects.
Oh my, what a wonderful time.